Hey everyone, and welcome back to FSI DFS. I am McKinley412. I'm one of the NHL coaches here. I work alongside TK Nation. If you haven't joined us in our Discord, please come check us out. Website is down in the description below. All the packages are there for you to come and join us. We've been seeing some new faces. It's been great. We'd love to have you. We've been doing pretty well here to start the season, so hopefully we can keep that good stretch going. Big slate for Thursday night here. However, there is a lot of COVID related absences happening all throughout the league. It's not just the NHL, it's happening in the NFL. Soccer is seeing a huge spike over in Europe as well. So, but as far as this slate is concerned, I mean, we have Carolina. They have 5 guys out as of the moment. Could be even more. I record these the night before, so things are probably going to change before the slate locks tomorrow. But as of now, Carolina, they got a handful of guys out. Nashville, I think, is up to 6 players out. Florida's up to 5 players out. And Vancouver is just out of control. I think that game possibly could be postponed. There's so many in the outbreak. So there's definitely things that we have to be paying attention to. News that is going to come out after this video is already posted. So please stay on top of that news. You can find it pretty much everything on Twitter nowadays. But still, some decent favorites. Minnesota, they're your biggest favorite, or they will be your biggest favorite against Buffalo. Minnesota at home, minus 320 favorite. Then you got some of the 3 kind of big dogs with Tampa Bay at home against Ottawa, Florida at home against LA, and Carolina. But I already mentioned Carolina and Florida do have some COVID issues going on. So there's kind of some value that's creeping up, especially with the line shuffling that they're going to have to do. So let's just kind of dive right in. What we're going to do is I'm going to give you 3 players at each spot as kind of like my favorite plays. And I'll kind of do them in different price ranges. But then I'll kind of go back through the position and give you a little bit more of players that could be interested in that could possibly go into your player pool as well. So let's just get started here. McDavid or Draisaitl? I think that is a major decision. Draisaitl, 700 salary saving. That's nice, but still. I think you're going to kind of be deciding between one of these 2 guys if you're going to spend up at center. Now, Edmonton, their offense has just like disappeared. It's just not there anymore. They're on this massive losing streak. They've got fans throwing jerseys on the ice during games. So things aren't going too well in Edmonton right now offensively. But look who they faced. They faced LA and Jonathan Quick, who was on fire and is still doing very well this season. Then they faced Minnesota, Boston, Carolina, and Toronto. Those are all elite teams in the NHL. So now they're facing Columbus, a Columbus team who allows over 4 goals against per game on the road. That's the second worst in the entire league. They're only better than Arizona. That's it. And that's compared to Columbus only allowing 2.4 goals against at home. So Columbus on the road, they're a whole different team. They're one of the biggest differences in home and road splits. So Edmonton, I think if they're going to find their offense, it's going to be the spot to do it with Draisaitl. Now, like I said, the offense hasn't been there, but we know what he can do. McDavid gets that top line. Draisaitl's probably that second line center. Things might change during morning skate. They might pair them together again. Who knows? You'll just kind of have to check that out as the day progresses. Down a little bit lower, Nazem Kadri. He's going to kind of be that mid-tier play that I kind of like. He's got back-to-back 3-point games. He skates on that second line. He's a second line center, so he kind of like hides behind McKinnon. So I kind of like him a little bit more on the road here. He's Nashville. They're going to kind of line match and put their best defenders, best guys up against McKinnon and trying to stop him in that line. So I think Kadri could kind of like escape a little bit here. He hasn't shot much in the past 2 games. But still, before that, he's been shooting the puck like crazy. He's got 20 points in his past 10 games, so averaging 2 points per in those 10. So I think at 6'4", he's down the price reduction. He was up at over 7K not too long ago. So I do like Kadri in that mid range. And then if we were going to scroll down, a little farther, I think my favorite low price center spot is going to be Stevenson for Vegas. This Pacioretty, Stevenson, Stone line is the most productive line in hockey recently. I mean, they're just on fire. You can kind of see he's got back-to-back games of 3 or more assists on the season. 9 goals, 20 assists in 27 games. That's not bad for a guy priced at just 3.9K. He sorry, just blanked out there and who I was talking about. So he's faced Boston, faced Minnesota. He doesn't really have much of a floor. He doesn't shoot the puck a whole bunch, but still, he's playing on the most productive line in hockey, and he's going up against New Jersey. Not really too scared about their defense there. Outside of those 3, I mean, obviously McKinnon. I'm gonna have interest in McKinnon just because of how good he is. Stamkos, I think, is priced too cheap here. I think he'd probably be close to that 8K range. I know Ottawa just kind of handed it to Florida at home, but I don't think they're gonna be able to do it again. I think Stamkos and Tampa Bay should score quite a few goals here. Hartman for sure. Minnesota, like any Minnesota guys, are definitely in play. So like Hartman and Eriksson Ek, absolutely, you guys can throw those guys in. Below that, probably go down to like Trocheck. Carolina, they're having those COVID issues, as I mentioned. Sebastian Aho, he's out. So Jordan Staal, he's in COVID protocol as well. So Trocheck could see the bump into that top line spot at just 4.6K on like the second highest favorite on the entire slate. So definitely could have some interest down there with him. Moving on into the wing, Max Pacioretty. I have to talk about Pacioretty. He is just matchup proof at this point. It doesn't matter if he is facing Boston, Calgary, Minnesota. These are all teams who he has faced recently. Even Dallas, you know, they're pretty good. Philly, they've kind of been lately, but still. Pacioretty, doesn't matter. He's kind of matchup proof at this point. In his past 7 games, he's got 10 goals, 4 assists. So, I mean, I kind of just mentioned it with Stevenson there. New Jersey, they don't really scare me too much. I mean, if this guy is producing multi-goal games against some of the best defenses in hockey, I think New Jersey, he's kind of going to be, all right, let's do it again. 8.8K, definitely getting up there. It's going to be tough to fit him and like McDavid or Draisaitl piece in there. But I still think, you know, if you want to go up at winger, he's the guy that you probably definitely have to go up to. Pacioretty. Love Kaprizov as well, or Kaprizov for Minnesota. I'm just gonna like Minnesota going up against my Sabres. Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen, like he has been doing better. The goaltender for the Sabres, they've been hyping this guy as like their top goalie prospect for like 4 years now. We're finally starting to see him in the NHL, and he's looked pretty decent. But still, you know, he can get a little erratic, get a little wild in net, and put up some rebounds. So I don't mind Minnesota guys here. Mid-tier, Lou Zuccarello. I mean, that's the guy I was going to highlight in the mid-tier. He's got points in 9 of his past 11 games. Minnesota, biggest favorite. You know, they're one of the best home ice teams in hockey. On home ice, Minnesota averages 4.5 goals a game, which is just insane. Zuccarello skates on that top line, skates on the top power play unit. He's going to see 20 minutes of ice time per game. He's going to skate next to or alongside Kaprizov on that top line. So Zuccarello at 5'4", don't mind him at all. And then a cheap winger play that I'll talk about if I can find him. Here we go. Nino Niederreiter, one of the best names in the league right now. Who knows what Carolina's lines are going to be looking like. Like I said, they are facing some COVID struggles here. And Svechnikov, he just went on the COVID list. He was one of those guys. So there goes their top left winger. So maybe Niederreiter sees a slide up into that top line for Carolina at just 3.2K. He's been producing lately. I mean, 6 goals, 7 assists in 21 games isn't much. But in his past couple of games, he's got points in 7 of his past 9, 3 goals, 6 assists during that time. In Carolina, much like Minnesota, they're a great home team and they're facing a bad road team. There's a good reason why Carolina is such a heavy favorite. So don't mind Nino Niederreiter at just 3.2K. So let's just kind of look at some other guys I might be interested in. I mean, Huberdeau, always like him. Timo Meyer, I mean, I don't think this game's going to play. If it does, I would definitely have interest in him just with how much he shoots the puck. Um, Nashville, I think, could be super sneaky. They're one of the teams that is going through the kind of the COVID issues. But Colorado on the road, one of the leakiest teams on defense in the entire league. They allow one of the most goals per game on the road. I mentioned that it was like Arizona, and that's Columbus. Colorado is like right there, if I remember back to when I was looking the stats up. So I think Nashville could be a very, very sneaky GPP play, very low owned GPP play. Reinhardt, he's been on fire. Mark Stone, he's with that Pacioretty and Stevenson line that I was talking about. Arvidsson shoots the puck a lot. I really love this range right here. I mean, Reinhardt, Duclair, Stone, Zuccarello, Brett, Arvidsson, RNH. That's a great spot. If you land there, all those excellent options. Teravainen, Marcia Show, there's just a lot of good spots. I love Winger just because it's so deep. Fiala, he shoots the puck a ton, 4-7, Minnesota again. That's kind of my interest there. I won't go too much farther down here. So let's just go to the defense. I know I've already been kind of talking a lot. Top guy in terms of floor, in terms of cash play, I think Darnell Nurse is the way to go. You can kind of see he's just on this nice little run of double-digit points, fantasy points, and he's doing it all with getting like 1 goal, 2 assists in that time frame. So he's hitting that shot on goal bonus. He's shooting the puck a ton. He's getting the block shot bonus at times. And I mentioned earlier, you know, Columbus, they're really weak on the road in net and on defense. You know, they can kind of like protect some of their lack of depth at home and do like the line matching, but then it just gets exposed on the road. You know, it's happening to Columbus. It happens to Buffalo as well. You know, at home, they're not too shabby, but on the road, they just get exposed in their lack of depth and they just can't match up with those elite teams. So Nurse, you know, if he can put up this floor game and if he can get like on the end of a goal, or if he likes to lamp himself, he's going to absolutely smash value at just 6.5K. Going down to the mid tier, we're going to go with Noah Dobson for the Islanders. You know, he's kind of really elevated his, he really has elevated his game as of late. He got injured, kind of got a little demoted, just a little bit off that top power play unit for a game or two. But he's come back guns blazing. You can kind of see he's shooting a ton. He's going to get you 23 plus minutes of ice time. Going up against Boston, who just got embarrassed by Vegas, especially on home ice too. So you're going to New York, you know, not a treacherous place to play by any means. I mean, I'm not saying that the Islanders are any good, but still, with how much Dobson has been doing offensively, I don't mind him at that 4.9K price tag. And then the cheap guy is going to be same guy as in the last preview video, Savard. He treated us very well in that last video. He was only 3.4K, got us 8.2 DraftKings points. And that's good enough for cash. I mean, I'm a cash game kind of minded player. So Savard, he's one of the best shot blockers in the entire league. You can see he's got this nice little run. Philadelphia, they could be playing from behind here. I do think Montreal could kind of keep the game tight. Philly, they have been looking a lot better as of late. They were on that nice little 3-game win streak. But still, you know, they're going to shoot the puck a lot. Savard, definitely in line for a nice block shot bonus again. Aside from them, Makar, he's kind of another guy, just matchup proof. But 7.9K is going to be real tough to fit in him. And like the guys I was talking about, you know, Draisaitl or Pacioretty or Kaprizov, all those top salary guys. Ekblad, a little bit of a letdown that last game, all so perfectly there for Ottawa or in his game against Ottawa, but just didn't happen. So I don't mind him. But Yossi, I mentioned Colorado, very leaky on the road. So I think Yossi for GPP, crush it. He can crush it, is what I'm trying to say. He could definitely have a ceiling game there. But Nurse is probably going to be my favorite top guy. D'Angelo, I think he's back. I think he just got taken off the COVID list. Yep, he's been cleared through protocol, so he should be back. Carolina, for sure. pick your Minnesota defenseman. Dumba, I think he gets power play 2 time. Brodin, he doesn't see any power play time, but he's kind of been the most offensively productive guy on that blue line for Minnesota. Spurgeon is the guy who's currently listed as power play 1 for them, but it's going to be kind of pick your Minnesota defenseman, flip a coin, kind of hope it's the right guy. Just scrolling down through Ferraro. You guys know by now, if you watch these videos, we love Ferraro here at FSI, 3.9K. Myers, he definitely helped out one of our Discord users as kind of a last man in. We had him in our player pool last time out, 28.9 points, easily paid off the 3.5 tag. But again, I don't think that game's going to be playing. Ronak, he gets some nice ice time. Bean as well. It's kind of Pellick's the block shot machine. He kind of always has been. Miller's been doing pretty well so far this season. And yeah, then we just kind of get to the point where just look for guys who skate 20 plus minutes of ice time, maybe see some power play time, PK time as well, and you're going to be golden. So that kind of covers things for this Thursday slate. Again, I'm recording this night before, so please check and keep up to date with all this COVID news. There's multiple teams on this slate, multiple heavy favorite teams on this slate that are going to have to do some line shuffling. But hopefully this kind of gets you just kind of in the right direction of where we want to target, players we want to target, so that you can start building your lineups and kind of get ready for lock. All right, so that kind of covers everything. Please hit that subscribe button. Really does help us out here. We really do appreciate all the interaction that we've been getting on these videos. So as always, good luck in your contests, and we will see you in the next video.